Indiana Fever put to Asia Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces. Good God. That's for Caitlin Clark. That's for the fans. That's for voting Caitlin Clark ninth as the ninth best guard in the league. That's for the fans again. That's for thinking you was going to come to Indiana and win today. That's for the 16 times you beat us before. That's for the game we blew in Vegas. The Indiana Fever put belt to ass on the Las Vegas Aces. Oh my God, I got to wear the belt.
What happens in Vegas usually stays there, unless you just got embarrassed by the Indiana Fever on national TV. Aliyah Wilson and Chelsea Gray went from looking like stars to totally lost. And now the internet is going wild. Did they take the Fever too lightly? Was something off? Or did Indiana just flat out humble them? Either way, this loss was a disaster. Like a slot machine explosion in the middle of—
Tell you, the Indiana Fever just put belt to ass, bruh, to the Las Vegas Aces, dog. Smash that like button for your boy, man. It is up and it's stuck, dog. I just got to keep it real, dog. What the Indiana Fever displayed today was simply amazing, bruh. I just got to be honest on so many levels. Excellent display of basketball. Guys, just lights out, bro. Lights out. Another big-time win without Caitlin Clark, and I'm just lost for words.
If you're enjoying the content, make sure to subscribe. It helps more than you know. Aliyah Wilson might want to call in a team exorcist after that disaster, because whatever possessed the Las Vegas Aces needs to be gone for good. This is the same team that used to scare opponents. Now they're tripping over themselves and giving away turnovers like free drink coupons in Vegas. They didn't just lose, they put on a live demonstration of how to completely fall apart.
Perspective, we bring in WNBA analyst Carolyn Peck. And Carolyn, you were at that game just now. Look, the Fever have been on a tear. They've won 2 in a row, a 25-point blowout of the Lynx in the Commissioner's Cup final, and then 27 against the Aces in this one. And both of those games without Caitlin Clark. How is Indiana getting this done right now?
Look, I think that Indiana is even more dangerous when Caitlin Clark doesn't play because she's a ball-dominant guard. The ball's in her hands a lot, so you know what you need to try to take away. But when you look at Indiana now, they've got so many weapons. And Kelsey Mitchell is playing out of her mind. Aliyah Boston. I talked to Stephanie White before the game. She said in year one, Aliyah Boston was back to the basket.
Yeah. This wasn't just a bad day at the office, it was the whole office catching fire, while someone accidentally sent screenshots of the group chat to the boss. The Aces didn't just lose, they got completely exposed by a team that people used to call Caitlin Clark and the background dancers. But not this time. The Fever showed up, locked in, and steamrolled a team that used to be the definition of dominance.
Coach, I asked Asia this as well, but what do you even say to your team after a showing like this one? I'd imagine, I know you believe that your team is kind of better than what you saw on the court tonight. What do you say after something like this?
There's not a whole lot to say. That's a complete lack of professionalism to come in here with that effort. Complete lack of focus. They played harder yesterday in practice by a lot. Wasn't even close. So I don't know how you step onto the floor with 20,000 people in the stands and perform.
And the best part? Caitlin Clark was just chilling on the sidelines, like a proud mom watching her kids finally stand up to the neighborhood bullies. Aliyah Wilson, Chelsea Gray, Kelsey Plum, they all looked like they were moving through cement. Not even a flicker of that usual Aces fire. The defense? Missing. The offense? Like someone trying to light a fire with soap matches. Their rhythm was so off, it felt like they were conducting a symphony in reverse. No flow, no fight, just missed jumpers and confused stares. Honestly, the only thing consistent was the look of pure confusion on their faces.
Game! The Indiana Fever was flat out dominant today. Dominant from start to finish. From start to finish, it was dominance. Beat down. That's you Uncle Willie's son. Yeah, that's what it was today. The Indiana Fever blow out the Las Vegas Aces by nearly 30 points. They win by a final score of 81-54. That is how you stand on business.
And that scoreboard? Yikes. You had to double check if it was broken or if the Aces really just put up their lowest score ever, not just this season, but in franchise history. That's historic level embarrassment. We're talking burn the tape and never mention this again territory. If this were a movie, it'd be a straight-to-DVD horror flick called The Disappearance of the Las Vegas Offense. Aliyah, usually a walking bucket, looked like she just remembered she left the oven on at home. Meanwhile, the Indiana Fever weren't just winning, they were moonwalking across the Aces' grave. It felt like the younger sibling finally beating their big sister after years of getting dunked on. And the best part? They did it without Caitlin Clark leading the way. She was just chilling on the bench, sipping metaphorical tea while her teammates dismantled a so-called dynasty piece by piece and made it crystal clear. They're done being extras in your highlight reels. It's their show now.
Kelsey Mitchell and Aliyah Boston led the scoring, 25 and 20 points respectively. Natasha Howard followed up her Commissioner's Cup MVP performance by scoring 11 and grabbing 10 boards for another double-double. Caitlin Clark, who has now missed 4 games in a row, has seen her teammates respond by winning 3 of the last 4 games. And over that span, the Fever have averaged 81 points per game and giving up only 71 points per game. The Fever are now a game above 500 at 9-8 with momentum and a long homestand. Fever head coach Stephanie White has stated they will not rush Clark's return as she does not want this injury to linger and come back.
Let's talk about that so-called dynasty for a second. The Aces entered the season with all the glitz, glam, and swagger of a team that thought their only real opponent was boredom. Fast forward, and now they're sitting below the Indiana Fever in the standings. Yes, the Fever. The rebuilding, rookie-heavy, maybe next year, team. That's not just a plot twist, that's a Shakespearean tragedy wrapped in a blooper reel. This was supposed to be a three-peat run. Instead, they're chasing answers like, what happened to that dominant defense? Where are the fast break points? Why does every possession feel like solving a Rubik's Cube in the dark? Nothing but stunned silence, blank stares, and slow headshakes like they were watching a crime scene unfold in real time. Meanwhile, the Fever looked like they'd been waiting their whole careers for this moment. Caitlin Clark sat on the bench like a proud CEO watching her startup go public, while the rest of the squad balled out with something to prove, and they proved it. Now I want you to look me in the eye, really look, and tell me this isn't a changing of the guard.
I want you to look me in the face, right in the eyes. The Indiana Fever are arriving right on schedule, right on time. Caitlin Clark not in the lineup, handling the business anyway. The Indiana Fever put belt to ass on the Las Vegas Aces. Don't go to Indiana, some shit might go down, was once said by Aliyah Wilson. And she was correct. This was a beat 'em down. The Aces held to a grand total of 54 points as the defense carries over from the Commissioner's Cup game, and the Indiana Fever have the league spooked.
This Fever team just proved they can lock down on defense, run crisp plays, and light up the scoreboard all without relying on Caitlin Clark. More importantly, they proved this season isn't about just surviving, it's about changing the entire WNBA narrative. If the Aces were the gold standard, then Indiana just walked in, shattered the mold, and rewrote the blueprint. You don't hold the defending champs to their lowest score in history without sending a loud, clear message. The Fever basically said, we don't care about your banners, your all-stars, or your Netflix special. This court belongs to us now. And the wildest part? Caitlin didn't even have to play. That's how you know the culture is shifting. When the superstar can sit and the team still runs like a machine while the defending champs look like a group project gone wrong. Now the Aces are 8-9. A losing record. From title favorites to mid-tier maybes. The aura? Cracked. The fear factor? Gone. Teams aren't backing down from Vegas anymore. They're circling those games on the calendar and licking their chops because now they smell blood in the neon water.
Asia, I guess obviously you guys have been going through some ups and downs. Do you feel like in tonight's game, did things sort of go awry just defensively? It just seemed like you guys weren't yourselves defensively, and it kind of made the rest of the game difficult.
We haven't been ourselves in a minute when it gets to the defensive side of basketball, and that is something that starting five we have to really figure out because offense is going to be crap here and there. That's just part of the game. But the defense has to be something that we have to really and need to do.
Aliyah Wilson and the Aces need to take a long, hard look in the mirror because right now, they're playing like a tribute band to their former selves. The swagger turned to sloppiness. The dominance replaced by doubt. And the questions are piling up faster than their turnovers. Are they tired? Distracted? Overconfident? Is this just a slump or a slow motion collapse? Whatever it is, the whole WNBA is watching. So is Caitlin Clark, who probably hasn't stopped smiling since the final buzzer. The league has shifted. The Fever are rising. The Aces are scrambling. And suddenly, Vegas doesn't feel like the safe bet anymore, and here's what really stings. Aliyah Wilson actually played well. She didn't fold. She didn't hide. She wasn't the problem. But the rest of the Aces? It looked like they were holding a group therapy session mid-game instead of playing professional basketball. Aliyah showed up locked in, focused, giving everything she had. But carrying this version of the Aces is like trying to win a drag race with a flat tire, while your own teammates are shouting 3 different GPS routes. No rhythm, no trust, no help. Just Aliyah versus 5, and sometimes it felt like even her own bench was working against her.